Hey everyone, this is Matt Perez, and today we're going to take a look at the multi-axis toolpath in Mastercam for SolidWorks called Cavity Tilt Curve. Now the example I have on the screen is basically the mold or a cavity for something like a bottle. So the toolpath we're going to look at will restrict the tool, the center of the tool rather, to any of these 2D curves that we've added. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what we can do. So we're going to go to our multi-axis toolpath dropdown, over to Toolbox and select Cavity Tilt Curve. Then we want to select our tool. In this case I'm going to use a small ball end mill. And then we go to our Cavity Tilt Curve section. Now you can see that the interface is very simple. There's not a whole lot that you need to select here. The first thing we do is select a tilt curve. In this case it's going to be Sketch 3. And then we have to select our floor surfaces. I'm going to right click and select Tangency. And then we really just have a few small things that we can modify. There are a few distances, rapid distance, basically the distance away from the surface before you can have any rapid movements. Then some entry and exit feeds, and then an air move space. We also have a step over distance, which we can change, the stock remaining, and then a cut tolerance. So you can see here there's very few things that we really need to select or alter. We also have a default lead in and lead out that we can modify, and then some retract options. So these won't really affect the cut, but they will affect the entry and exit to the surfaces and possibly how fast you can get around the non-cut movements. So you can see it's very simple. There's really not much to add here. So let's go ahead and hit OK and let Mastercam fix our toolpaths and take a look at what we have. So let's do a quick verify and take a look at our toolpath. So as we take a look at this verify operation, if we slow it down a little bit, you can see that the tool is staying within that sketch that we added for our cavity tilt curve. So as you can probably understand, this can have some good effects on actually machining the geometry, but it can also have some negative effects. You can see in areas such as the straight sections where we have a lot of vertical surfaces here and our curve is relatively close, we can't really get a fine curve in that area. So this is definitely a limitation. You have to be careful with the constraint curve that you're using to be sure that you don't really alter the geometry. But let's take a look at what else we can do, what other options we have. If we go back into the parameters and we go to our miscellaneous section, we have a switch to advanced interface. Now when you do this, you're still using the same type of geometry, but it switches to a parallel cuts type of multi-axis toolpath. So the tool is still going to be restricted to that sketch, but you can modify things like a constant Z or parallel cut. You can modify the sorting. You can do zigzag, spiral, or one way, and you really just have a lot more control over the operation. The cavity tilt curve is meant to be a very easy to use, a very generic type of toolpath. And if you really need more control, then you're going to be switching to this parallel cuts type of toolpath. So as always, if you guys have any questions, please email mastercamsupport@mlc-cad.com, and we'll see you next time.